So it wouldn't record a half-hour blank. Okay, so I typed all this out, and I'll just give this to you, but I just wanted to like make sure I didn't forget anything. So I guess the main thing that Sally always taught me is that a planning session like doesn't just happen. Like you've got to have it scheduled. So on my monthly task board, I have it on the beginning of week 2, because sometimes it just takes a while to get stats updated. And then I always try to do it after the team meeting so that I'm not, because if somebody gets top sales, I want them to be surprised at the team meeting and not have gotten a postcard like 3 days earlier. So the purpose, there are 3 main purposes of a planning session: recognition, and then discover weaknesses in your team, and then learn who kind of deserves your time and attention. Now with a small team, it's very easy. Like you could probably get all this done in like a half hour, but if you get in the habit of doing your planning session as your team grows, the planning session doesn't become harder. It's just, you're just kind of in the groove. So when you're recognizing your team members, I just kind of recognize sales, recruiting, who's top in both of those areas, consistency. So you may have a team member who's never top sales, but consistently she's, submitting over $1,000 every single month. So kind of recognize that. And then $1,000 shows. And then the important thing is to recognize only what you want repeated. So, if you've got somebody who's active, every other month, that's great, but
I don't really want to praise.
Yes.
I want to be active every month.
Every month, and like more than 150. Yeah. So you don't want to recognize the bare minimum. So, and then discover weaknesses. This will definitely come out as you're doing this, and you use that information for one-on-one coaching calls, small group coaching, kind of like the Zoom room that I did, or like I met with 2 girls at Panera last week, and then just topics for our team meeting. So, and then you're going to learn who deserves your time and attention. And your team is basically divided between 3 groups. Your A's are those who are consistently selling and recruiting month after month after month, and they desire directorship, but it's not just like out there, like they have a date in mind. It may be not a specific date like March 3rd, but like March, And then your B's are, they're sometimes consistent. They want directorship, but their actions are never going to be enough to get them there. They're fun to be around. They come to the team meetings. They consistently come. So like me, this is Michelle, in my opinion, okay? And then your C's are basically everyone else on your team, and you're going to continue to keep them informed through like your emails and Facebook and things like that, but you're only going to reach out to them personally, every couple of months, definitely before they would lose career sales or get dropped. So, all right. So, were you able to print that stuff off? Okay. So basically every planning session, you're going to print off the following, and you're going to organize it in a 3-ring binder, which you've already got with tabs. So the first thing is the performance tracker. Let me show where all this is. So your performance tracker, if you just hover over selling and recruiting, click on consultant connection, your performance tracker is this tab right here. And it's slowly coming, maybe.
Thinking about it.
Yeah, wasn't even really thinking. I don't know why that page didn't. Okay, so the key is you just have to remember to go to the month before, and I do include inactive consultants, and then you just hit go, and you'll need to remember to click view all as your team gets bigger.
Okay, right, because right now my team shows up.
Yeah.
So what does blue mean for you?
Blue just means like a leader. Or not a leader, but she's got somebody. They have somebody under them. So Michelle's got 2 under her. She's a senior consultant, so it kind of helps break it up, makes it a little bit easier to read. And yeah, and then the print button is right there. So you want to print that off, and then under consultant connection for reports, there are a couple reports that you always want to print off. The individual performance recognition report, which is right here, the $1,000 shows reports, and then the sales promotion summary. Got all those? Yep, good. All right. And then if you've got somebody on track for the incentive trip, you can print that off as well, the incentive points summary. So that makes it easy. This is where I go to watch my own points rather than the calculator. I don't get the calculator. So, all right. So as you're looking through, let me pull up the performance tracker. I'm going to make mine smaller by not including inactive. Okay, so as you're looking through the performance tracker, well, as you're looking through all of these, some things that you want to make note of are a high show average. But let me start with the performance tracker. Okay, so what I look for on here, and let me grab mine because I already marked all mine up. It was nice when you and Randa promoted because it made my performance tracker shorter. Okay, so so here, I mean, I was just looking at like good sales. You know, I've got a couple in the $2,000-$3,000 range. 0, 0, 0, 0 on bookings. So that's definitely a meeting area that we need to cover again. Or it could be that they're just not marking them. Right. That would be nice.
That would be nice if they're just not putting them.
Yeah.
That was Billy for me.
And then like for Haley, she had 2 bookings, but she did 3 shows. So that's like, that should be 6.
Should be 6.
And then,
so yeah, like Billy, she should have 6.
Yeah.
She did 3.
Yeah. I mean, it's great that she got 1 from each. And you have to kind of think of, okay, is Billy, does she just want to do like 1 or 2 shows a month? Like, is she happy with that? So that might be good for her. Yeah. And then here for Anne, like I noticed that she got 5 bookings, and that's really great compared to what she's done in the past. But yet Crystal here usually doubles her bookings. So she had 7 shows, but only got 1 booking. Usually that's 14. So I need to kind of find out.
Yeah. Wow.
Not worried about this because I know that girl's quitting. So I look at the bookings, I look at sales. Debbie did not get any bookings off of this 1 show she did, but I know that that's a bridal shower, and I know that sometimes it's a little harder off of bridal showers to get shows. So I mean, they can see that on there.
So why have you highlighted?
So those are people come to the team meeting.
Oh, okay.
So yeah,
okay.
just
gotcha. Nobody.
It makes it easier when I'm looking at top
okay
sales for the team meeting. So yeah, so that's what I look at that for. And it is kind of nice, like it shows you how much commission they made. So sometimes I'll mention that on the postcard, that if I send them a postcard, wow, you hit level 3 for the free-for-all, you made close to $700 in cash, just things like that. So I do like that it tells you how much they made. Then I'll look at the $1,000 shows. Lincoln, let Stormy out, please. And sometimes you don't have any $1,000 shows.
I did this.
You had a lot, yeah.
Sorry,
just Billy, yeah, Billy.
Yeah.
And so for this, you're just gonna hit your personal team. I look at everybody's. Actually, I didn't. Anyways, okay. So for here, Haley, she's got $2,000 shows, and Courtney has 1. I mean, that's huge. Yeah. So like. And those were both cooking shows. That's what the K means. So like, I'm going to have her probably share, what did you do to get, because I look at my performance tracker and I've got, this person had $300 show, $300 show, 200, 200, 400. So like they could really learn, okay, like what are you doing differently, whether it's host coaching or recipe choice or whatever. And then Courtney's was a virtual party. I mean, that's huge. So to have her share too, like, all right, what made the difference there? So, and then if they have $1,000 show, I recognize them at the team meeting. I usually send them a postcard, something like that. And then the individual performance recognition, it comes up here. So this is where you're going to see career sales, you're going to see show average, the number of career recruits, you know, things like that. Okay, it's thinking. So for like this, Michelle is at 14,500. Mm-hmm. Well, I'm not sending her a text this month because last month she was at 14,300. The month before, you know, 13. Like she knows how close she is because I've kept her, you know, I've texted her every single time. All right, it's not coming up. Let me stop share here. So, but then for Crystal and Haley, they're both halfway. So I just sent them a quick text. You know, you're halfway to 15,000. Once you reach it, you get a raise over everything. They never know how close they are. You know what I mean? And so that's just kind of an encouragement for them to keep going. Definitely don't lose your career sales, something like that. So, I mean, who's this? Carl is halfway.
She was just talking to me about how she might be taking September off.
So that would be motivation to not take September off, or at least get one. And I know you recognize Janice about that. And then just looking at Randa's team, Janet's halfway there. Audra on Jenny's team is halfway there. And then if you look at show average, so I never, like if somebody just if they've only done one show, the show average means nothing.
Right.
So usually I'm looking for people, like Anne had 2 shows, a show average of 984. That's great. So anybody who has 2 or more shows, I'll look at their show average. And if it's, like again, I ignore the one show people, but I mean, just looking here, like Elizabeth is 647, Haley is 1,031, Jenny's 830. Like that's good. I'm looking for anything over 500. If you start to see consistently, it's like 300, 400, then a meeting topic would be increasing your show average, which goes back to host coaching and increasing attendance and things like that.
The show average does not look at catalog shows, right? It's saying she has none.
Correct. Well, let me see, because where's Crystal did 6 shows. I know she had 6 catalog. Yeah, it does. Catalog shows. Colleen had, well, maybe. Colleen had 1 show, 1 catalog show, 2 of 7 show. Oh, maybe if they only have 1 show. Okay. There's no average. If there's, you can't do an average, right? Average. Math person, right? Okay, that's right. That's okay. Took us a while to figure it out.
I was like, what is it?
So,
what year they have 1 show and they did an average? So I'm like, what? Yeah. Okay. Anyway, beside the point.
I don't know. 1 show doesn't can't figure it out. Yeah.
Average of 1
show. So that's another team meeting topic if the show average is low. Where is it? Okay. So we talked about the $1,000 show, and I just write notes. So like Haley had $2,000 shows, so I'm going to highlight her at the meeting tonight. She'll wear a ribbon, so I don't feel like I need to send her a postcard to reiterate that. Courtney can't come tonight. She has a funeral. It's like been the month of deaths. So she is getting recognized on my monthly newsletter, my monthly recognition though. So, and then I'll highlight that again when I have them talk at the team meeting, whenever, about that. And then what I do with so after I do all of that, then I figure out how I'm going to recognize them, whether it's postcard, Facebook, a text, a cookiegram, whatever. And then I'll make a note on the performance tracker of what I did. Like Courtney or Haley's getting 2 gifts tonight, and I sent a postcard. I mean, I'm mailing it tomorrow. Crystal's getting a gift. And I like to write on there so I can look back at the last month and see what I did. So like last month, I gave Haley a cookiegram. She's not getting another one this month,
Right.
you know, just so I can kind of, because I forget. And so like I sent Elizabeth a cookiegram last month for $2,100 in sales. This month she was a little bit less. So she's just getting postcard this month. So that kind of helps. So I usually keep a rolling month or a rolling year in here at a time so I can kind of go back and see. And then I have a basket here of all my postcards, letters, stamps, Pampered Chef, whatever these are called, stickers. I just have it all in one place. Okay. So I can just grab. And like all my postcards like this are from Vistaprint. So I just found it helpful to just keep it all in one place, and I can pull it out of my closet.
I'll see some of those later.
Yeah. Not working. Yep. And then if I'm only recognizing somebody like on the sales promotion summary, this I recognize through my monthly recognition. It shows right here. So like I have my monthly recognition divided by level. So right here, it recognizes who got the first level, you know, second level, and so on. Obviously next month I'll change that, you know, received pink help with cancer. So that's an easy way to recognize that. So we talked about show average, the number of bookings. Does it make sense for the number of shows they did? When you recognize on Facebook, did you see that the marketing imagery has a bunch of images that you can use, like you've submitted your first show or $1,000 party or things like that. So that's really nice. Okay, I'll look at it in a minute, okay? And then I'm sure you do the same thing, but like these are templates. So I can just fill in, makes it super, super easy. So templates make it easy. Okay, so then your notes. So then you take all this information, I'll show this, and you want to put it together in your notes. So here's the little notes thing. Let me stop sharing this. Okay, so, and again, this will be real easy because you don't have very many team members. So new consultants within their first 90 days. So who is that? Karen and well, could be Billy coming up soon.
Dorcas
We'll say, ended, okay, so if their 90 days are up, the dates are no longer listed.
Oh, no, not September.
Okay. So
Billy just ended.
So you definitely, Dorcas and Karen are definitely in your A. They're within their first 90 days. And then, do you have anybody motivated for directorship? I know Dorcas.
So far, just Dorcas has shown interest.
Okay. So for me,
I mean, Janice,
yeah.
Michelle.
Yeah, she would be your B. Yeah. So like for me, I have Haley and Elizabeth, and then my new consultant, Natalie, who are new within their first 90 days. And then those motivated for directorship are Crystal and Courtney. So this I just write down their names, and then I make sure I've got a phone call scheduled with them or a meeting scheduled with them. Courtney and Haley and Elizabeth, I already had that scheduled, just coming off of conference. Natalie just signed up on Saturday, so like her next phone call is tomorrow. And then Crystal, as I was doing this, I'm like, oh, I haven't talked to Crystal for 2 weeks, so we need to get something down on the calendar. So I made a note there. And then once you've got the phone call scheduled, I take my notes on their sheet in like my either the new consultant Strong Start notebook, you know, or my director bound notebook. It doesn't really matter, but I don't take the notes on here because this is just my planning day. So this is just to make sure that I have something scheduled to touch base with them. And then I just make a note, okay, so for the team meeting, we need to talk about bookings. We need to talk about increasing the number of shows. We've got too many consultants only doing one show who I know want to do more. $1,000 show tips, and then recruiting. We've really stunk at recruiting this summer. Mm-hmm. And then Anne is kind of like, she's a bee. So I emailed her tonight about seeing if she could talk next week. I know she's at a dinner meeting right now. So she talked about recruiting at conference, and that has never, ever been of interest to her. So I definitely want to talk with her. Mm-hmm. And then I'm not going to talk with NECs this month. I've got nobody close to being dropped, and I'm keeping them all in the loop. So that's kind of my planning day in a nutshell there. Okay, I'll help you in a minute. And then what I do, once I know some things that are going to be on that we need to do, like for the next team meeting, I just add it right away to my agenda. So like, I already know you're going to do host of the month club. Mm-hmm. And then I don't know what we're going to do about bookings, but we need to do something with bookings and recruiting. And I probably need to do $1,000 show tips with Courtney and Haley. So that way I don't forget from the planning day, this is what we need to focus on for next month. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. Okay. And then I think that's pretty much it. My part of my conference cash, I have that in my planning day notebook, because as I'm looking through the performance tracker, I can easily see who earned conference cash. And so I just keep a track there. I keep that here at the beginning. So it sounds like a lot, but you just kind of get, and when it's organized in a binder, it's just going from one thing to the next. And I know Sally at the meeting talked a lot about the 3-month action plan. And I did this consistently for 3 years, and I didn't go anywhere. What has made a big difference is this ABC. Okay. All right. So like, who deserves my attention? Mm-hmm. That's who I'm going to spend time with. I'm not going to worry about these C's, because I was always so worried about all these C's and getting them to the team meeting and getting them to want more. And it's like, but they don't. I wanted it more for them. Yeah. So my business really started to improve, or my team, my organization, when I just focused on the A's and touched base with the B's every so often. So I don't know. So, cause like my 3-month action plan, like this, it never changed. Executive director, senior exec, it never changed. Mm-hmm. So what I was doing just wasn't working. So I don't know. I still keep it in here because it obviously works for some people if Pampered Chef still continues to emphasize it, but I don't know. And I'm going to see if once Sally's daughter moves out, if Sally will start doing planning days again, because we used to do that with her. Mm-hmm. And it took longer to do the planning day because we were all talking, but it was helpful to say like, okay, my team's struggling with this. What have you done at team meetings to help with that? And like, we've just shared ideas and stuff. So, and then I would take like a couple postcards of each style and put it in a little bag and take it with me so I could just get everything done. So what questions do you have? Okay, Lincoln. You'll have questions once you do it.
Yeah, I know. I know right now.
I mean, it's pretty straightforward with a small team.
Yeah, they're pretty small team right now. I actually have touched base, I think, with all of them at this point about their plan for the month and where they are. And that's because Karen's going back to school. So her focus is very much getting her classroom ready. And, but she has a party, so I think she has at least one party per month for the next few months. And that's kind of what she
That's
wants.
her goal.
She's
so
happy.
That's good.
So I'm happy.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, you're happy. Yeah. I can't think of anything at the moment. I'm sure something will come up.
This grow agenda.
I think I learned a lot about that at conference.
Okay. And I just keep it on. What are your goals? Okay. What's your reality of your business and how does it, yeah. And then what are opportunities you have to improve the reality in order to meet your goals? And then what are you willing to do? Because sometimes they're not willing to do what it takes to reach their goals. So it just kind of helps guide the conversation. So, so maybe with Dorcas, if she really wants directorship, is she a teacher?
She's also in my school right now. They're both second grade teachers.
Okay.
That's kind of funny.
Maybe encourage her to do the 6 Weeks to Success program. I mean, that's kind of a key element for promoting. So